welcome to the Hugh Hat-Trick channel, and it's the weekly daily race guide. That's right, we like to confuse you with the words that we say. No, I'm only joking. It's the daily race guide, and here it's Somebody Call Me an Uber. On race A, we've got the Prius, which is going to be a fun combination here at Tokyo Expressway Central clockwise. So for once, our preview was actually correct last week, and PD didn't go in and chase, and sorry, I'll start again. PD didn't change the races at the last minute. We've got a very exciting race B, which is Group 3 at Deep Forest, and then we've got Group 4 at Brazil at the Autodromo in Interlagos. So that'll be fun. But let's see how we got on at this race, which was a lot of fun. Let's hit that play button. What a great view as we head on, and it's go! I was 4th place. I managed to set a time of a 1:46.9, and there we go. And we set off. I had traction control on, which I'm not entirely sure, maybe didn't need, maybe slightly. But here we go into the first couple of corners. Now you do have to brake for this one a little bit and try and keep as much speed as you can as you go around that right-hander. I was right behind Charismatic. There was nothing in it at all. We were bumper to bumper as we tear through the tunnel. And then just as we come round the corner here, this is a great corner. It's a good fun, these are the kind of cars that work so well at this expressway, because it's, they're not massively fast, so you get really good close racing. And I was quite pleased with the result, which you'll see in a couple of laps' time. So we head on, and he's coming round the right-hander. I managed to keep that inside line. Charismatic goes wide and just comes out, and we just touch a wee bit. But I managed to get the place and up into 3rd. Good thing is, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of damage penalties unless you really hit the curbs hard, or sorry, hit the walls hard, or hit somebody hard, then you'll get a penalty. But as you can see, we're now into 3rd place. Max has got a 1.5 second penalty there. And we come on up the hill. A slight touch, very easy to understeer off into the wall as you're coming out of the tunnel. And then you're coming through here, keep it nice and tight. Best way to do it. Oh, I mean, there's Max hitting everything there. Now this corner is quite tricky. One to watch as you kind of brake quite early and try and get the car in. You see, it's almost like as soon as you brake, the car wants to kind of really kind of understeer and lose balance. So you have to be quite smooth. As Tidgney said, it's the energy transfer. So the smoother you are, the better you'll be, the faster you'll be. Certainly you'll be able to carry a lot more speed. You can hear the crunching there in the background as things go oh, crunch away. Now, let's see, we're on lap 2, so braking a little bit earlier. See if I can get that. That's it, that's quite a good one for the front bonnet there. You can see as we go through, and this should be flat out. If you get the line right, you should be able to hold it all the way through. And then coming to the first sector. Going round. I realise I don't have all the details set up, but don't worry about that. Now, this is probably the most challenging corner, or certainly one of the hardest corners of the circuit. You go past that little yellow sign and then brake just before the next one. Try and keep as much momentum without the car sliding too much. And Max is going to take his 1.5 second penalty, so we are going to go up to 2nd place. And at this point, we've got a couple of seconds between us and the car in front. Trying to brake nice and early, nice and smooth. Oh, just about giving it there, tiny touch. And watch as we come out of the right-hander here. This is very, very, very tricky. And we just take a little touch there, which does lose you probably about 0.5 second or more in the momentum stakes. So we come hearing down. What I'm going to do is just go on the next lap, because this is where we start to make a bit more progress. Again, we were about 3 seconds by this point behind the car in front, but we had a good exit from there, and we made up about 0.5 second. And then coming into the right-hander, we kept a bit more up, and then through the tunnel. And you can see he gets it wrong there and gets a wee bit wide. We managed to keep on the inside. And again, we are catching up. We are absolutely catching as we come along the upper kind of the overway and then down into the tunnel again, kind of just trying to keep the energy right. And oh, perfect there. Look how much time we've been able to bring the chap in front, but then we get it just a wee bit wrong coming up here. He touches the wall, but actually we missed that one, so we're okay. So all this time we're cutting into the gap. And when we first started it was over 3 seconds roughly, so we're not done too badly. I think I could have gotten a low 45. The chap had done a 45.1 on pole, which I thought was pretty decent, to be fair. But there's definitely time in it. It's just all about holding the momentum through the bends. He's hit there. This was our closest point here. And I'll quickly skip, because although we were kind of just about with him, we didn't quite manage to pull any more time. And although I got a reasonable exit here, we were still about 1.5 seconds behind by this point. But then the next corner, a few corners, don't go quite as well as they could have done. And although this one is alright, this one goes quite well. It's the next one that I just screw up slightly, and oh, then it goes into there, and at that point he is away with a lot more momentum. This shows you if you have a bad corner and somebody else has a good one, they can just pull away very easily. So there you go. That was race A. Definitely worth doing. It's lots of fun, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Let's get on to race B. Now this is race B, and it's Group 3 at Deep Forest Raceway, which is where we were last week for the time trial and different things. But this is a great combination. Nice to get Group 3. And we're here with the fastest man at the time, the Sujimara. Let's see exactly what his lap is like. I'm not sure that's Sujimara, how you pronounce that properly. The Japanese driver, heading in using the Porsche 911. Comes into the first corner. There we go. First gear he uses, and then up into second, and accelerates out nicely, and then into this tricky series of S bends. There we go. And going into the right through the tunnel, nicely taken, goes right out wide, and then slowly brings the car in back into first gear and into second. Oh, goes a bit. And this almost straight lines it there, and then brakes a tad, almost, in fact really doesn't, actually just comes off the throttle, to be fair, and then into second gear, into first, into second again, and look how much curb, so wide he goes, all onto the green. I'm sure there'd be an issue with track limits if that was real life, but not to worry about that. And onto the back straight, over the line of 54.491 for the second sector, and where will he brake? Coming just after the 150 board, into first gear using a bit of engine braking, keeping it in first, and then accelerating out there. That's a nice, clean, healthy lap, that one. And then down the hill we go. And then onto the straight. There's a lovely bit here, and he keeps over to the left to try and cut as much of the track as possible. And a 1:26.255 is the fastest in the world. Can we get anywhere near that? Well, you'll have to see. Let's get on to race C and see exactly what that is like. But just before we go, I'll confirm the settings. And we have, because for race B, it is 1 times fuel and 1 times tyres, so there's no issue there. There's no strategy required. So let's get into race C. Race C is Group 4 at Interlagos, and we've got 1 times fuel and 5 times tyres, and we're here in the Group 4 cars. Now, at the time of doing this, as you'll see, the global ranking, Hensey, and McLaren 650 was the fastest person in the world, but Serrano has got a replay that we can actually watch, so we'll go to that, and we'll see how that all works out. So, again, also using the Porsche, and this is really nice. The Porsche Cayman is a lovely, lovely, lovely car. So, down into second gear as he takes the Senna S. Takes plenty, so much curb there and more. And then onto the curb here on the left-hander and accelerates out. I'm amazed he took so much curb on that right-hander and didn't get a penalty. But here he comes now. Here are the brake markers. No, just between the 50 and the 75, maybe just after the 100 actually. Yeah, nicely held there going into that left-hander. It's a really tricky one. If you out-brake yourself, you'll just go wide. And then up towards the right-hander, braking it just before the 50 board, into third gear, holding a nice tight line over those apexes and keeping decent speed and braking into first gear to look at the rotation, works so well there, and back into second gear. Hairpin, the left hairpin, and then heading out, accelerating nice and early, and then on to the next right-hander, again a sharp one. How much curb will he take? Back down into first gear, then into second. So there's lots of engine braking required here, and then holding a nice line, beautifully done, and then right out wide onto the other curb, and then braking down into second gear, and then up into third very early on actually, holding that momentum through and keeping right to the left hand side. That's a bit of a Murray Walkerism, that one, how to confuse, but holding that white line and then keeping in on the left, almost going down the pit lane, but just, look at that, there's not much in it, keeping over to the left to do the fastest time they possibly can, a 1:36.8, which is a great time. Can you get anywhere near it? So there you have it. We have race A, race B and race C. Which one are you going to compete in? I'm sure you'll do very well. But if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, and it would be great to have you along with us more often. So could please consider giving us a subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free just to hit that subscribe button. But take care everyone. Drive fast, but drive your bus even faster. Bye just now.